Remember that on April 20th, 2010, British Petroleum's test well gushered, releasing petroleum. Methane bubbled up and was ignited, killing workers. Then the pipe, almost a mile long, fell to the bottom, leaking in 3 places. What should have happened on April 21st or soon after? BP proved it didn't know, and so did the government. Pete Seeger's sayings, "And when drill, baby drill, turns to spill, baby spill, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. There's big problems to be solved. Let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me, God's counting on you." About me, I'm trying to prepare you for the next time. Some fishermen should have moved in downstream of the site and cleaned up in 2 ways: salvaging and selling the oil, and allowing the other fishermen to continue fishing free of oil. To salvage, they needed to let the oil drift free of the repair work and sweep it into a pool by pulling, not pushing. If they pull the water out from under the oil, currents of returning water will push the oil together and or into the pool. A pool of 1 million gallons fits into a fraction of a square kilometer, or mile, in area. It would need to be deep enough, either over the pool or in a small area of the pool, that a tanker could pump oil free of water. You've been watching stirred water and oil, colored by Sudan yellow, interact in the lab beaker. In part, this illustrates how to collect oil in an ocean, and in part it applies only to the beaker. I've learned new ideas for the ocean from watching the experiments. We see the oil, the water surface, and the stir, but we must apply Newton's laws and Newtonian viscosity to understand. The impeller pushes water toward the wall bottom and up the wall. The surface current pushes the oil together into a cusp, which guides the water back to the impeller. Later, we will color the water flow green. We'll start over the water alone and pour in some oil. Later, we will stop the stir and then restart to show the time delays. The impeller also adds a horizontal rotation, which we may or may not want for the ocean. This is the first of 4 YouTube presentations on what to do to be prepared for the next spill. This, the first one, is sort of a demonstration using water and colored corn oil being stirred in a beaker by a magnetic bar. The second one will go into more detail about what we can do with the beaker in the laboratory and about what surfers know about deep water waves. Then I do some hand waving about what we want to do with 1 million gallons of petroleum. The third one will be technical and scientific questions such as the potential energy of spreading for the oil, the kinetic energy available from a gallon of diesel, how to use a pair of impellers to accumulate momentum in a water torus and keep moving the oil back into its pool, and why surfers don't ride deep water waves. The fourth one will be addressed to boatmen who know much better than I do about using boats under various conditions and towing something behind them to do what they want it to do. I am also preparing a PDF paper to cover more detail. There are many kinds of impellers in our world: magnetic, egg beaters, fans, propellers, paragliders, and pump impellers. The market provides pump impellers that are 75% efficient at design flow and pressure. But we should remember that their efficiency drops to 0 when the valve is closed. An impeller pulled by a cable could flop around and direct water in various directions, and therefore be useless. The impeller's orientation must be controlled, maybe partially by gravity. We could roughly think of an impeller shaped like a cupped hand, the palm moving through the water and the bent fingers moving the water. If a boat would be moving clockwise, the impeller should be left-handed, throwing water out horizontally to the right of the boat's direction. Another requirement is the need to start quickly, before the oil spreads. To avoid the additional cost of gathering scattered oil, the impellers should be delivered to the site by the next day to be used by local boats. I got the idea in the 1960s, when a storm in the Sea of Japan ruptured a tanker. A storm moves on, leaving seas that boats can cope with. Waves also have problems with coping with oil. Boats outside an oil pool can pull impellers under the pool to throw water out. The reaction force would displace an impeller under the pool to where it would be needed. My delay after April 21st has in part been due to expanding the concept. Beaker tests taught me the advantage of a beaker wall to help store the circulation momentum. Using a second impeller at the surface pushing water in could both balance, using a third cable, the force on the deeper water impeller, throwing the water out from under the pool. The surface flow and the deeper flow in and out flow in a torus, a donut shape. Consider what you've seen and will see in the beaker. Water being stirred by a magnet. You may have expected a whirlpool made by centrifugal force. If we turn the power up, we can get one with air in the center. But we want minimum power if we're concerned about large scale. Water goes out from the stir to the wall, up the wall, toward the center, and back down. It must be turbulent. A blob of water from the right might be going faster than water from the left and push its way past the center line. Add oil and things change. Oil wanders around, pushed by the water and gravity, but soon some oil begins to form a cusp, which grows and guides the water down, usually not in dead center. Why not? We see turbulence partially damped in the wiggle of the cusp surface. Let's see the water flow in the beaker. I will add oil that contains brilliant green dye, which dissolves in water. It dissolves at the oil-water interface and is carried in the water. You can see threads of green between the cusp and the impeller. As it scatters, it will give an increasing green coloration. What if I just dump the green oil into the water? We'll try that too. I'll sing and you can watch. Pete and I were in better voice 60 years ago when our dance group danced to the Weavers' songs. When we look and we can see things are not what they should be, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. When we look and see things that should not be, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. It's time to turn things around, trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. It's time to turn things around, trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. And when drill, baby drill, turns to spill, baby spill, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Yes, when drill, baby drill, turns to spill, baby spill, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. Don't give up, don't give in, working together we can all win. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Don't give up, don't give in, working together we can all win. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. There's big problems to be solved, let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. There's big problems to be solved, let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. When we sing with younger folk, we can never give up hope. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. When we sing with younger folk, we can never give up hope. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through,